First cast, guys. Oh, look at this. There we go. Guys, just made my first cast into this little roadside ditch. And we just caught a new species, guys. This is a mud sunfish. Hitting a couple of little ditches under some little byways here. Threw a little jig spinner in here and this guy nailed it. Look at that tail, that rounded tail. First I thought this was a warmouth, but that tail is a giveaway that it's not. This is a mud sunfish, guys. New species. Alright, pretty little fish. Let's let him go. Thank you, buddy. Alright, people. Welcome back to Cross Country Bank Angler. And as you just saw, I caught a new species of fish. That was a mud sunfish. I'm in this very small, fishing this very small little ditch here. It looks like, I mean, maybe a foot or two deep at the most. Very tannin stained water here. It's kind of that tea color, swampy, acidic water. It's a little bit out of the way for me, but you know, this was a spot a fellow multi-species, ultralight angler sent me to check out. And yeah, that was the very first cast and we caught a mud sunfish. That's a new species. That's pretty cool. Yeah, kind of the goal today, I've got the ultralight set up with me, the ultralight spinning setup. And yeah, I'm just kind of doing a little spot hopping today. I'm gonna check out a couple of these little ditch spots that, yeah, this fellow angler told me about and see what's in here. And yeah, it's been promising so far. Like I said, that was the very first cast and a new species. And yeah, today, we're ultralight fishing, not going for big fish. Really want to just try to do some multi-species fishing today. And I think my record for species in one day this year is 5, which is good, but it's not anything special. So I'd like to try to exceed that today, see if we can get, 6 or 7 species just hopping around in different spots. There's another area kind of like this, not too far away. Gonna maybe give each spot like 20-30 minutes and just see what's in here. And also nearby is a river. So after these spots, after we hit them for a little while, we'll go to the river and see if we can access the river. So yeah, that's the plan today. Just kind of doing some exploring, throwing some tiny little lures around and seeing how many species we can catch. You never know until you throw. So let's go. All right, people, so yeah, we're with the ultralight spinning setup, and the bait that I'm using here is just a little jig spinner. This is the black and yellow. That's really my preferred color a lot of the time for just multi-species fishing. This looks like a little grub or something, some kind of little insect. And got a little tiny Colorado blade to give it some flash. And yeah, that little guy smoked it. 1/32 ounce jig, so this is a very small jig spinner. Yeah, we're just gonna cast it around for 15-20 minutes, maybe longer if we're really starting to get a lot of fish. Like I said, we got one on the first cast, so it's late summer, but there's already a lot of leaves and pine needles and stuff in the water. Got like a week of summer. Oh, we had another hit. But yeah, like I said, we had like another week of summer left. And today it really doesn't feel like summer at all. The humidity is down. I think the high today is in like the upper 70s, maybe 80. Keep missing strikes here. They look like another sunfish species. There we go, guys. All right, here's another species for the day. Something a little more common. It's a little bluegill. There we go. Let's check him out, guys. That's like a 4-inch bluegill. Kind of washed out looking. But there's fish number 2, species number 2. Even in these acid acidic waters, these tannin stained waters, there are bluegill surviving, so that's interesting. Oh, there's a fish, guys. It's another species. Another one that I've only caught once before. It's a redfin pickerel. Not easy. Oh, hold on, little guy. There he is, guys. Look at that. That's a beautiful little fish. Can you see him? He's pretty small. Look at those red fins. That's a gorgeous fish. Tiny little pike. He's probably 5.5 inches, something like that. I'm gonna get a picture of him. Let him go. We smoked the jig spinner. All right, one last. Whoop. All right, fine. If you want to get just tossed back in there. All right, people. 3 fish, 3 species. That was a very small little pickerel, but cool colors on him. Here's a fish. Another species, guys. 4 fish, 4 species. It's a warmouth. Let's take a look at him, guys. There he is, about a 4-inch, 3.5 inch warmouth. Honestly looks kind of similar in colors to the mud sunfish. I think the mud sunfish has more spines on the anal fin down here. But the eyes are kind of red and more of like a brownish mottled body coloration. But also the tail. That mud sunfish's tail was very rounded, and this fish's tail is not rounded. It's got a very slight fork to it, so that's how you can tell this is a warmouth and not another mud sunfish. 4 species from one little ditch. All right, one last look at him, guys. Pretty little fish. Thank you, buddy. Here's a fish, guys. All right, it's another warmouth. Finally, we actually got our repeat species. Oh, hold on, buddy. Panicked once I put my hands on him. Very similar, basically identical to the last one. Pretty little fish they are, though. And I don't get to see them very often. Alright, see you, buddy. You ever see one of these red flowers when you're out, guys? These are cardinal flowers. They love the banks of little creeks, just like this. Oh, I saw him smack it. Another pickerel. But I actually don't think this is a redfin, guys. I think this is a chain. He doesn't have the red fin. I think this might be my personal smallest pickerel. Personal smallest chain pickerel, guys. Because he's the same size as that other one, but he's got a longer snout. He's got the streak more defined under the eye. But the markings are very different. I don't know. I'm not sure about that one, but the fins are totally clear, so I'm thinking this is a chain pickerel, guys. Alright, see you, little guy. I think this is a chain, guys. That's 5 species. We're already at our record for this year so far. That's really the most we've caught. So I think we're going to beat the record today, especially if we hop around to a couple more spots. Here we go. Oh, it's another redfin. Come here, buddy. You're caught. Like a little snake trying to get away. Here we go, guys. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that other one was a chain, a little chain. The fins are just so much different on this, and the snout is shorter. All right, last look at him, guys. Thank you, buddy. All right, people. So I hopped to a different kind of roadside ditch spot. Didn't catch anything. So this is our final spot of the day. I'm not sure what happened to the audio here, so I'm doing a little voiceover. But this is a river access that was nearby, just next to a little bridge, and we basically spent the rest of the day ultralight fishing in the river, and we caught a good number of fish. But I was really hoping we could catch several different species from this spot, and that really wasn't what happened. The fish were, we were able to catch some redbreast and I think bluegill, but that was it. No other species showed up. I was really surprised. Normally this river has a really good diversity of species, but for some reason this stretch, I don't know if the fish just weren't that active or if it was just, this stretch just didn't have a lot of diversity or what, but it wasn't as good as I was expecting. But I am going to go ahead and show you a couple of catches from the river here. There were a couple of pretty solid redbreast in there. This is how we're going to kind of end off the day here. So at this point in the day, we'd switch to a little Rebel Mini Pop R, just a little chrome blackback popper, and we actually managed to catch one on it in the first few casts in this kind of shady area. So I was hoping we were maybe going to get on a little topwater bite here, a little popper bite, even if it was just sunfish. That's a little more exciting than, fishing a little jig or something. So I was happy to catch this guy, but we actually ended up losing the popper not too long after, and we didn't really get any more hits on it. So I tried several different lures at the river, hoping we could find other species that would bite. I just swapped over to this Mepps inline spinner. It's the dressed aglia. I think it's a number 1 size, which is around 1/8 of an ounce. Really nice spinner, done quite well with that. I got that one just as a gift a couple years ago, and it does really well. And we just hook up with a nice fish here. This is probably the biggest fish we caught all day. This was a multi-species ultralight day, so we weren't targeting bigger fish, but this was a very solid redbreast here, in that 6-7 inch range. There's lots of redbreast around my area, but most of them are small, so when you are able to find a spot that has some nicer ones, it's pretty cool. They really do fight well for their size, so always nice to run into a slightly nicer one after kind of wading through lots of kind of average or below average sized fish. So wanted to make sure you guys saw this one. Really nice specimen of a redbreast sunfish. Really a beautiful river species around me. Very aggressive fish. They'll hit so many different lures. They're very fearless fish. So anyway, I thought that was a nice one that I wanted to make sure you guys saw. So yeah, that little spinner, started catching fish right away and caught a good number of fish. And these inline spinners, it's one of the best lures for multi-species. But for whatever reason that day, it was just panfish biting, and by that I mean just bluegills and redbreast in the river. It's very unusual that it was just those two species, but sometimes that's what you get. So on the ultralight, it is about, if you're going to be catching little sunfish, then you may as well be using ultralight. It is the most fun way. So anyway, interesting day out here at the river. and yeah, caught some pretty fish. Guys, I was changing baits here, and this dragonfly landed on my pack here. I use an app called Seek to do identifications on critters that I run across, and I think this guy is a russet-tipped faucet tail. That's the species that it landed on, so not one I think I've identified before, so interesting to see. He's not very active right now. He's not trying to fly away. This is kind of getting to that time of year where dragonflies get a little less active. It's a cool day. He's probably doesn't have a lot of stamina right now. So I'm on the road here, stopped to get a little snack, and want to do a quick outro. Kind of wanted to go ahead and head back into this area. It was a little further out. So yeah, we tried the river for a few hours there, that new section, and it wasn't amazing. I mean, we caught a good number of fish, but it was just all bluegill and redbreast sunfish. So really only added one new species to the tally there, which not what I was hoping for at all. I was really hoping we could find a couple more new species other than just redbreast. You know, usually that river, you know, you can catch, you know, 4 or 5 species, pretty, you know, it's pretty typical for that place. And yeah, I think I've caught up to 7 there in one day, maybe even more. But yeah, didn't pan out at all. I don't know if it's the time of year, if the conditions were just a little bit off, so that really the only fish that we're wanting to bite were the sunfish, or if it's just that stretch of river. I don't really know. It's you know, a lot of different factors kind of playing into today and the outcome. I did see a couple of bass. Small ones though. They were definitely young of the year fish. They were probably 2 or 3 inches long. I think they were both smallmouth. One of them I don't think was gonna survive. I think he'd had, maybe he had an infection or something, like one of his top fins, his dorsal fins was messed up and kind of atrophied away, and he was kind of sitting under the surface of the water and couldn't seem to sort of get down and control himself in the current. So that was a little disheartening to see, but at the same time, you know, at least there were some signs of like a new generation of bass in that river from this year. So hopefully that'll mean that there'll still be a decent smallmouth population in there for the years to come. But you know, that little ditch really was cool though. I mean, we caught a new species today, that mud sunfish, on the first cast, so that was pretty sweet. That was definitely the highlight of the day for me overall. So anyway, you know, just some ultralight multi-species fishing today, just seeing what type of fish we can get out there to bite. Yeah, you know, if you like multi-species ultralight fishing, kind of like this, you know, you should definitely subscribe to the channel. You know, I love taking the little ultralight setup out to little creeks and just seeing what will hit, you know, a little jig or a spinner or whatever the case may be, right? With that being said, thanks for coming along with me today, and I hope to see you next time. Peace.